Alrighty, I am live. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I'm going to be painting up one of my favorite fall signs. It is my pumpkin topiary. I've had this one for a while and just keep perfecting it more and more. So it's been a fun one to paint. Colors today that we're using, always black and white. I've got antique white, we've got bamboo, browns, we've got Bambi brown as well. We've got metallic gold, 14 karat metallic gold. I've got light and medium foliage green, palmino. We've also got for our oranges, I've got tangerine, bittersweet, and cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, they stopped making. So the next one that I found that was the closest one to it was folk art. Now I'm going to forget what color it is. Tangerine by Folk Art. I'll grab a bottle of it. Tangerine by Folk Art. This is pretty similar to it. It's not as light, but it's as close as I've found to it because they stopped making that color. Dang it, right? So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to flip my camera down. We also do have welcome letters for this one as well. You can get this one off of my website, rachelscraftycorner.com, or off of my Etsy at Rachel's Crafty Corner. So anyways, let me flip my camera down for you all. Okay. There we go. Let's see. So we are going to be doing some shading, kind of one stroke type. So I did do 2 coats on the top of my pumpkin. That's why you can kind of see a color variation, and then I just did 1 down here because these are just needing to be primed. I am going to grab the white because we are going to be using that as some shading. So I'm throwing white on my foam plate. Shading, I always like to use a foam plate for it. It just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, this is the bamboo. And bamboo kind of has like a brownish, light, and almost like a pink taupe to it. And then we've got our antique white right here, okay? And we grab a brush. This one should do it. This is the number 8 angle brush. Okay. So I'm going to grab my white on the edge here. You guys can see that. And then I'm going to grab my bamboo on the other edge, just like so, okay? Or I guess you didn't see it on that side because it didn't get fully over, so just like that, okay? Alright, so then I'm going to take it and I'm going to just move it back and forth, just kind of blending them, ombreing them together, okay? We can add some water to it as well, okay? Which is going to help make it go a little bit smoother. And then mine have like little edge lines so we can kind of follow the bumps of our pumpkin, okay? If we go over on the leaf, it's not a big deal because we're going to be painting it green so we can hide it later. So I'm just getting down that first color here. Okay. Alright, grab a little more. White. And I kind of almost let it go over the edge just a little bit. This is going to be green, so I'm not too worried about over coverage. That's why I always do lightest to darkest. Alright, go right here, getting that one, and bringing that one up and down there. Grab a little more water. Okay, going into this guy. And this one kind of goes up into the stem a little bit. And then we're going to bring that back down, okay? Just like that. Okay, grabbing a little bit more. We go right here and get this guy, okay? Grab just a little bit more paint here. There we go. Just not going as dark as I'd like it. Okay. Alrighty, smooth that out. There we go. nice long brush strokes really do help with when we're shading like this, okay? All right, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and grab the tip of my paint with the white and the bottom with my bamboo. You see that there? Okay. We're gonna move over here. We're gonna move these back and forth, okay? Okay, now this is where it kind of comes in a little bit fun. We're going to kind of do a reverse here. So we're giving it an extra shade, like an extra groove here, right? Okay, same here. Giving it kind of an extra ridge. Going again, having some paint here, or a little bit of water. Okay, we're going to go right here, grabbing that one. And again, right through here. Okay. And just like that, this guy is pretty much done. Okay. We can even throw a little bit of bamboo over on this edge too, kind of to give it some extra blend. So we're kind of doing the back area just to kind of blend it some more. Okay, just like that, okay? And if you're wanting to, we can throw in just a little more. Kind of bring it back through. You can lighten out our brown just a little bit. Okay. There we go. Alright. Just a little more here. Alright. Okay. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, I'm going to do Bambi Brown next here. This is going to be for the stem of our pumpkin up top. And I just realized I moved my water. Hold on just one sec. Alright. Got so many things going on. Alright, just cleaning out my brush here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to paint my sim. This is Bambi Brown that we're using here. Alright. And brown always usually requires 2 coats. That first coat is going to be a little bit blotchy. Don't try and overpaint it because you'll just start pulling up your paint. So just give it a nice quick coat and let it dry for a second. While this one's drying, I've actually got 2 pumpkins going on right now, so I'm going to grab this one and hurry real quick and get my other stem here. Just while this one's going. Over there, come back, and this is still just a little too wet and I don't want to touch it too much yet, so let's grab the heat gun here. Remember, when using a heat gun or even a blow dryer, low setting and move it around a little bit so you're not sitting in one place too long because it will make your paint bubble. Just like you wouldn't put your hair dryer on your head in one spot because you burn your head, same kind of concept. All right, that looks much better. And let me check this one real quick. This one, touch that one up real quick as well. Okay, that is all I'm doing with the stems. We're not going to do anything real fancy with it. So I will get this paint put away here. And like I said, that was Bambi Brown. Okay. Throwing stuff back in my paint towel. Okay, so our next color is going to be down here. We're going to be working with our oranges. And the first color I'm actually going to put down is our bittersweet orange. Okay, let me grab my paintbrushes and move those down. Sorry, we had friends visit, so I hurry and stop the live. And so while they were talking, I was painting some other signs over on the other side. So I'm just going to grab, I forgot which brush I was using before. Okay, this one is, trying to see what angle it is. It's an angle brush, a little bit bigger of an angle brush. Sorry, can't see the size on it. Okay, getting my brush wet here. Alright, so the first coat, we're going to just kind of get a nice pretty coat around here. So I'm going to go around our pumpkin, or our leaf of our pumpkin. Crazy to me, we're painting pumpkins already. Okay, I am not loving this brush. I think this was a Hodge Podge brush and I didn't realize it got put in the wrong spot because it is clunky. Alright, okay, number 14, black brush. Here we go. Alright, much better. I went through and cleaned up my brushes today too. They were driving me crazy. I was getting too many beat up ones. Alright, so we're just putting down our bittersweet orange. And right here, there we go. This one has pretty good coverage as well for an orange. Alright, we're going to do our leaf here. There we go. The other side of our leaf. Let's get right here. Just keeping my brush nice and loaded here. I'm going to meet down here for our other leaf. Okay. The round part here. Okay. Same thing here. little more. There we go. Alright. And then we're going to do nice long strokes and fill in the rest of our pumpkin. Going over the edge lines that I have for the welcome. I'm even going over the edge lines that I have for my vine that will run through. We'll do that over the top. Alright, so let me grab just a bit more. Filling that in. A little goober there. And through here. Hubby's here is working too, so if you hear noises, it's Hubs. Cleaning out the tray, it sounds like. Alrighty. And just a bit more there. Alright, I'm going to grab my edges. Kind of see how I'm doing my edges. Okay. Kind of grab a clump of it, get that on, and then I tend to just spread it out. You're going to get a little bit of bead of paint, so then I just come back on my edge and smooth that out as well. Alright. Alright. Let me get here. I'm going to smooth that out. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to paint my other pumpkin and then I will come right back. Okay guys, so we are going to put in our oranges next here. So I've got the bittersweet orange, so just adding some more of that. We got our cantaloupe here. And we have our tangerine. Okay. I'm going to take that number 14 angle or flat brush that we have. Okay. And with this one, we're going to grab our, our tangerine and our bittersweet orange. So tangerine is the darker orange, and bittersweet was the orange that we've been using. One on one side, one on the other. Getting it nice and ombre. I'm going to grab just a little bit of water so we can get it moving. Alright, and when I do my pumpkins, I I typically, when I'm doing a full rounded one where I don't have to stop in it, I will typically go with the center one so I don't have to mess up my lines when I go and do the other ones on the other sides. Let me grab just a little more here. So I've got that moving. Okay, that looks nice and pretty. And then we're gonna go here and here. Alright. Smooth that out. Okay, just like so. Get a little bit of water here. Alright. We'll go to our next edge here. Alright. And I'm moving just like so. Alright. My edge got a little uncrisp for what I'm liking. Just gonna come back in and smooth that out. There we go. Okay, and next side. I'm gonna go here, get this little guy. This little edge here. Bumped it just a little bit here, so we're gonna smooth that out. Alright. I come in. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to go on to our other side over here. And I'm going to kind of put it at an angle and pull it down. That will give us that pinch part of the edge where we're meeting into the leaf and clean that up for us. And then I'm going to work here at the bottom and meet up at the top there. Grab some more paint. Alrighty. And I'm just blending that back down in. There we go. Just like that. And we'll do our last edge there. And I'm going to come up here, get this edge, working our way down. Okay. All right. So it's starting to have some dimension. Isn't that fun how plump it looks? All right. So here I'm going to just fill in a little bit with our bittersweet orange. Just kind of giving a second coat here. Getting that wet. Oh, I grabbed the wrong paints. Okay, same thing here. Just cleaning up a little bit here. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Right through here. All right. All right. Got a little extra paint there than I wanted. A bead of it. Okay. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna take our, let's see, I'm sorry, cantaloupe. Or like I said, it would be tangerine from Folk Art was the other best match I could find for that. I'll move that back and forth here. And I'm gonna take and just do almost next to where we started. I'm just gonna kind of lightly pull in just a little bit of that lighter orange into our highlight. Just like that. Okay. Okay, same thing here again. I'm gonna kind of go right in here. Grab some more water, and I'm just gonna start pulling the paint that I added back and forth. Just bringing it back in. So by doing this, it kind of almost gives the illusion of some more highlight. All right. Let me do that again. For our next one here. Just going to kind of add right in here. Not doing the full pumpkin, just a little bit. Okay. And I think I might even highlight around the leaf just a little. Now I'm just going to add water. We're going to smooth out what rest remaining we've got here. Okay. And then just take a little bit more. We're just going to kind of pull into the center a little bit here. Just a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Alright, same thing here on these sides. That center one is kind of the trickiest one. And like I said, we're going to come back and grab right around my leaf here. Okay. Just adding a little bit more highlight on this side. And leveling it out just a little. Okay, going to grab a little bit of water. Okay, just like that. Making it look nice and juicy, right? Alright, big old juicy fat pumpkin. Alright, same thing here. Go right here on the edge. And then I'm going to just start blowing it back into here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay guys, so I've got our greens now. The first green we're going to use is our light foliage green. This is an old plate, so the plate is dry. My orange is obviously overtook my plate. So I'll just use a new plate here. Okay, well, we'll see what we can get out of that. Let me clean out my brush real good here. So the light foliage green is what I'm going to be using for our base color. And this color does require 2 coats. I'll probably just kind of do the center for the second coat because we're going to be laying on so much other paint. I probably should have done that with the orange because when I was painting it, I started seeing more of it starting to show through. So that's why I did that coat in the middle there for a second. I was trying to get that to be cleaned up just a little bit. Okay, so just getting that arch of that pumpkin there. And we can smooth this one out. And just a little more paint here. Okay. I love painting pumpkins. They're like one of my favorites to paint. I just like how juicy they look. Alright, let me know what in Facebook, what things you like to paint. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get this guy cleaned up here. Oh, I got a big old goober right there. Got that. Okay, that one cleaned up. Let's go to our next one. There we go. I'm going to come down here and get our bottom. Oh, and another goober. There we go. Along with our edges. Got that over there. Alrighty. Alright. A little more green. There we go. I'm going to grab my edge while we're letting our paint dry. It's super humid here, so paint is not drying super fast. So Gums might be a friend for us. Get that one out and grab a little more. Here. Okay. Alright. Let me throw our heat gun on here real quick. Okay, guys. Alright, I'm going to do some of my green. Do you touch that? Oh. Okay. Goodness. There we go. Some paint left over here on my cap here. Alright, this is the medium foliage green on this side, and then this side we'll put our palmetto. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do our dark green first. So we're going to grab the medium green and the light foliage green. We're going to move those back and forth. Get some water here. There we go. Alright. And then right through here, we're going to just start working on our edges. And I should have worked with our center first. I'll come back and do the center. Now, the reason why I like to do the center, like I was saying before, is because it, there's less chances that you mess up your brush strokes. So we'll do our center here. One side the light foliage, the other side the medium foliage. Okay. Like that. Okay. Come down here and we're going to meet up. There we go. Now I'm just going to get my brush wet here, and I'm going to play with moving our paint just a little bit. Okay, just like that. Okay, that one's nice and pretty. Let's go to this side. Grab. Okay, there we go. Bring those to meet up. Okay. Just lightly touch up. We had a little bit of overage there. Okay, just getting my paintbrush wet. Like I said, I'm gonna work on fixing this one a little bit because that one got messed up there. Alright. my pet brush wet again. I'm going to kind of pull our paint here. There we go. And just a little more of the dark up here. Down in. There we go. I've got a little more here. Okay, come over on this side. A little more. Oh, we got goobers. Okay. Alright, just going to grab just a little bit of our light foliage because we got some dark in there. And when I did that, I just grabbed it on the edge to have that work in. I grab a little bit of my water. Okay, more water. So it's really just kind of working with it, getting it wet and moving it around. That's what helps get it blended the way you want it. And just being patient with it, adding some more, taking away, whatever you gotta do there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go into our next green, the light foliage green. Go into our next side here. Matching our edge. Okay, I'm going to take my edge here, pull that up. Okay. Back that way. And then I'm going to start bringing down just a little bit. Alrighty. Okay. Just getting that with just a little bit more dark there. Okay. Alright. There we go. Cleaning out my brush because I just had a little too much dark on my brush there. Alright, so green, the light foliage, go back and forth again, and we're going to get this edge here, our last one. On here, okay, and then I'm pulling this guy in and grab just a little bit of the light foliage there. Okay, so we are getting nice and plump here with our green pumpkin. Let's add a little highlight too, like we did with our lighter orange there. So I'm going to grab the palomino and the medium foliage, move that back and forth here. Okay, alright, so right about in here I'm going to start going here, kind of adding that in. Giving our little rainbow kind of thing is what we're doing there. I'm going to add some of our water, help blend it. We're going to kind of blend right in the center there. Okay. And then from there, we're going to kind of start working our way back and blending. Alrighty. There we go. Okay, that center one is done. We'll start moving on to our edges. So just like that. Alright. And I'm going to work on doing my arch here. Okay, I'm going to grab just a little bit of our dark green here and fix that. Just had it kind of scuff up there that I didn't like. There we go. Alright. I have a little bit of paint water in my brush. I'm just going to use that with the extra paint that we have here, so we're kind of almost like watercoloring with what we've got. And we're just going to pull that down. There we go. Alright, so now going back to our light and our medium. Or so I should say, I'm not sorry, I'm going to confuse you. Our palmino and our light foliage. Alright, and I'm going to just stop about halfway here. There we go. Grab some water. Bring that down so it blends nicely. And then we're going to do a nice little swoop there. We'll kind of also bring that in. And then we're going to lightly kind of bring back in. There with our pumpkin. Okay, same thing on the other side here. Grab some of our medium. Alright. So I'm going to start here with our arch. Bring this one down. I'm going to grab right here, trying to bring that back up. Okay. I'm going to grab just a little bit of water. I'm kind of working on that edge here. The edge makes it a little bit hard, but we got this. I'm going to smooth out here, smooth here. Okay. Just going to lightly keep kind of moving that in. Just like that. Okay. Grab a little more of our medium. And same thing here. I'm going to turning my brush and then turning it down, and then when I get to about right here, I'm going to stop and then pull my brush this way and pull it up. That way we're kind of keeping that blending where we want it. Okay, and just feather light strokes. I'm going to smooth that out. Okay, and then I am going to grab just a little bit of the medium foliage, so the darker green, and I'm just going to come right here and clean up just a touch of where we kind of went over, and perfect. There we go. Okay. Is that pretty? Alright, so from here, you guys, we're going to go ahead and work on our leaf. So So with our leaf, we're going to be using our medium foliage or the darker green. Clean that up. Okay, I'm going to go right here. We're going to get this arch of our leaf. And then we'll go into this one here. Okay, I'm going to go right here next. Grabbing this one. Okay. I'll grab here. Okay. And come over here, grabbing this side. Alright, we're going to smooth out. Grabbing this leaf. And this leaf here. Loop. And one more loop up here. Alright, and then we're going to clean up where our pumpkin intersects with the leaf. Just like that. Okay. Now smoothing and adding more color here. Now, the nice long brush strokes are the ones that help the most when you've got green and stuff like that, because green likes to show those brush strokes and everything else. Alright. Okay, got that one done there. I'm going to come up here and do the top one. Alright. This one up here. There we go. Go into this guy. I'm going to take my brush and move the other way here. There we go. And again, right through here. There we go. Alright, bring that side up. Right here, look at this side. Okay, just smooth that out. right here, let me grab this edge. And do me a nice look there. Okay, perfect. And then just smooth that out. I'm going to grab the top part of my edge here where my leaf goes over. Getting that guy done. And then I'm cleaning up the bead. There we go. Alright, and while this paint is drying, I'm going to go ahead and do my vine. Alright, so we're going to go here. And like that. And we'll grab this one here. This one's coming from our leaf here. Okay. Alright, just clean this one up. There we go. Alright, and our friend right here. There we go. A little goober here that I'm trying to get up. Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay. And then this one, the vine is kind of going over our leaf, so I'm not going to mess with it because we're going to do some shading on the leaf, so it will kind of pop out more. Okay. Let me get the goober out of the way there. Alright, come back down here. I'm going to add that second coat that's going to make our leaf look beautiful. Okay, that leaf is done. Let's go to this guy up here. So just working on our edges, kind of pulling as we go. Pulling our paint to where we want it. Cleaning up as we're going. Alrighty. Okay, done there for the moment. And let's see if we can get some of this medium foliage out. I might have to sneak it from the actual bottle itself. Okay. Alright. Pull it from this lid here. Alright, so I'm going to grab some on one edge, the dark on the other, move that back and forth. Get some more of our light here. I probably should just clean my brush there. Hold on. Alright. Okay, so medium foliage on one side, dark foliage on the other. We're going to move that back and forth. Okay, so then I'm going to take my brush, just a little bit of water here. Alright, and I'm going to go right around our edges of our leaf. Just giving that a nice, pretty highlight. Here and bringing this side in, bringing this side in. Okay. Medium foliage on this side, on the other, or medium and light, sorry. Alright, we're going to go here, and I'm going to pull my paint this way, pull it this way, and then pull it this way. I'm going to take this side and then pull it there. Okay. And like this, creating our lines. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to just use my edge of my brush here, and I'm going to kind of create my stem there, like so. Okay. Same thing up above. We'll do here. So our light foliage green, medium foliage green, move those back and forth, and we've got just a little bit of water. The brush was feeling a little dry. Alright, I think we'll start here first. So I'm going to pull. Alright. Do that leaf. And just like that, okay? Alright, so then like I said, same thing again. I'm going to take my edge of my brush and we're going to take it, we're gonna pull it back. And that's gonna kind of give us our seam of our leaf there. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna come back, grab my medium foliage green here, and I'm gonna do the little vine that I said was going through this leaf. So I wanted it to stand out a little bit. Okay. And let me grab right here. Just like that. Alright. So now what I'm going to do with my same brush here, this is a 0/3 splatter brush. We're going to take our Palomino and I'm going to lightly go through. Okay. Adding the highlight here. Alright. Same thing here. And this guy. Kind of giving it like a 3D dimension. Go here. Okay. I'm also going to add just a little highlight into our vein of our leaf. Alright, one more here. Okay, the brush started dragging, so I'm going to stop. Redo. Brush drag again. Okay. And there. Okay. And same thing here. Alright. And let me grab right here with our leaf. There we go. Okay guys, so now we'll start doing our outlining. So I've just got our black here. And then this is that black that I was telling you guys last few times I painted. It's a little bit more runny, so I'm not going to water it down. But if you're noticing that your paint is a little bit thicker, having it a little bit thinned out helps with doing outlines. It just gets it to flow a little bit better for outlining. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to actually go right here real quick. All right. Just checking where I was putting my zigzag lines. Okay. Oops. All right. So let's work on our inner part first for our hand, so we're not smearing it anywhere. This I'm going to kind of skip over the vine just a little bit. And do a little zigzag right here, and then bring that down. Alright, got one side of the middle done. Let's go on this side now. I'm going to go ahead and grab the top part of this pumpkin here. And just because it will be harder for me to reach with my hand later, possibly have smearing. Okay, skip past that line. And match it to our line up at the top. Okay, working here. There we go. And then I'm going to grab this section of our leaf here, just to kind of clean that up. And right here, I'm going to add a little zigzag. Just grabbing our edge here on our green pumpkin and getting that part of it done. There we go. Alrighty. I'm going to go into our leaf here and get our leaf done. Keep grabbing out of the wrong one here. Right up black. There we go. And come back here. Finish this leaf here. And a little bit of grab it in my brush there. Okay. So same thing again. I'm going to start in the middle, just so it makes it easier for my hand. Okay, do a little squish here, bring that down. And come back up here and grab this side. And our two edges will meet, or two lines will meet now. If it met and it's still a little bit not flowy, you can always kind of come back in and clean up those lines. Make it look a little bit more smooth. There we go. All right. Here. Bring this one up to the top here. Okay, and we'll come up here and bring down this line. So arched it and then just bringing that one down. Just a little zigzag there. And bringing that up. We'll finish up this bottom part. Alright. Now onto the other side. I had a little drop of paint right here. Luckily it dropped where my letter is going to be, so I'm just going to let it be. I'm not going to deal with it. We lucked out. That is one of the things with working when you are working with a little bit wetter paint to watch out for, is you can possibly have a little more drip problem. Another way that I would probably try and fix that too without messing with it is just making sure that my highlight would go right over that, and that could hide it too. We're going to do a little zigzag there. Go. All right, just trucking along here. Let's go ahead and get the middle part of our pumpkin, mid or lower, I should say. Then I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to grab our leaf. Thought about doing a zigzag, but where the vine's right there and everything else, I think what I'm going to do is we'll add a zigzag up here, up at the top, to let it flow through, and maybe add one on the other side. Okay, and then just finishing up that top part of my pumpkin on the side. Just trying to remember kind of hand placement and not trying to cross over where I might potentially smear my paint. Let's go right here, zigzag. Okay. Go here. Here's my outline. Right there. Let's go over here. Grab there. Pull that up. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go back right here with a little zigzag. Okay, and here. Then let's go here. We're going to pull this up. Just like this. And done. Okay. Outlining is basically done. I am going to come in just a little bit with the vine and just add a very light detail to it. So some parts will get more of a dark line, others will not. We're just kind of building to what we already kind of got going on with our vine here. Adding like some dimension and shape, making it not look so flat. Okay. I'm gonna come over here, grab this one. Okay. And same here. There we go. Okay, so we got that done. I'm going to add some highlight, and then we're going to also come back and add some gold highlight. I know you don't typically see me do that, but I love doing that part for fall. It just kind of gives that extra fun to the project. So just going over where my squigglies are, that's probably the biggest part that I emphasize when I highlight. Other than that, I just kind of flick my brush. I'll even add just a little bit through that seam there. I'm going to go back here, add some highlights in. Okay, I'm going to grab just a little here, the zigzag. Come back, right here, and there. I'm going to grab this vine, just a little bit, right through here with our pumpkin. Okay, zigzag again, here, just like that. Making that pop, right? Same thing with our vine here. Okay. Zigzag here. And a little more pink. Okay. Just not liking how that went. Alright, let's get our leaf here. Okay, to slightly just add a little highlight there. Okay. Grabbing my zigzag up top. We'll grab our line here. Okay. Our stem. And there we go. Oh, liking that curve. There we go. Okay, coming back here, we will grab our vine right quick, get the top of our pumpkin on this side, and add a little flare there. There we go. And grab this vine here. And done. Just like that. Okay. Let me grab our gold here. So almost kind of the same thing we're doing like the highlight, but this might be just a little thicker. We're going to just right here, kind of come down. I'm going to definitely add it to our vine again. So like I said, a little bit thicker with our gold. So a little more heavy-handed. We'll definitely add some to our leaf. Okay. And there. Alright, I'm going to build this up on the vine. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to go through this vine next here. Same here. Go up. Okay. And definitely here with our pumpkin. Okay. Going through our leaf here. I just kind of love that flow that it gives, that golden fall feel. Alright, and then with the pumpkin stem part, I'm just going to go right across there. Maybe even do a little there. Alright, that is all. Just like that. Okay, so one thing I did forget to do when we were painting with the brown is I forgot to do our letters. So I'm going to grab a makeup sponge because that's just the easiest. And I have my plate right here. Alright, I'm going to use my makeup sponge and I'm just going to plant over my letters. Kind of working on my edge. And I do prime these as well. These probably could have gotten away with not having a priming because we're going to be glittering. But still love to do it. Just kind of holds the color better. And we won't need to do a second coat on these because we'll be doing the glitter. We just want that base tone. Going right on over, getting in between the edges there. Oh, let's get a little goober there. Get it. Goobers with the humidity right now are kind of a thing, unfortunately, with paint. So just kind of watch out for them. Alrighty, I'm going to hold over here because this is probably a little bit more dry. So we've got my paper here. We've got some Mod Podge. Making sure my lid's pretty decent. Sometimes we get a lot of buildup because I use my lids. And let me grab a Mod Podge brush here. One of my old brushes that I've retired to Mod Podge brush because you don't want to use your really good ones. Okay, so right here, just going to Mod Podge this. You're going to kind of want about a medium to thick coat of your Mod Podge, and I usually work in sections because this Mod Podge dries super fast. So we'll probably just try and get this W because it's quite a big area, and then we'll move on to the next part of the letters. Okay, I kind of try and stop in an area where if it kind of bumps up, nobody's going to really notice it as much. More of like a transitional area. Another pretty color for this project that Lori has is, I think it's called Penny or Copper Penny. But I really like that one too, and I think that one would be pretty. It's a little bit darker, but it would be gorgeous too. Okay, we got our E next. Another thing I will do too, just kind of showing you guys different techniques, as I can put it on and then I'll just kind of press my letter into it, and that will like help it go too, especially if it's a little spot that we're getting. So we got our L. Let's see if we can get our C here. I block that on my O, so I'll try and get the O a little bit too. Here. It's a little bit harder with the letters. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to do a little bit of both here, since I ran out of glitter in the jar. Now you understand why I'm trying to get rid of it. Alright, because there's just a little bit left. Okay. Get our M here. And our E. Okay, shake that off just a little. gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to glitter with my... Okay guys, so we are back. I'm going to glue on our letters here. So I'm just doing a nice bead of glue across the back. And almost there. Alrighty. And then I kind of stand up, kind of hover over. I'll do one side a little bit more, especially when the letters are bigger, or I should say longer. Kind of hover over it. Now, when you cut these letters, sometimes they shrink in, so you have to pull on them a little bit. But this one pretty much settled really nicely. So, another thing I'll do when it's super glittery too is I will take my glitter paper and use that to press down. That way I'm not getting glitter everywhere all over my hands. Alrighty. And then let's show you guys the final product. So there we go. Happy fall! Yay! Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful, huh? I love the shading. It just makes it pop, right? All right, you guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.